Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Europe Diaries. So after spending 3 days exploring Lisbon, we headed off to our next destination, which was the south of France. Our original flight was supposed to bring us directly to Nice, but it actually got cancelled, so we ended up rescheduling to the next cheapest option, which was a layover in Porto. Those ham and cheese croissants that you just saw were not good and also super expensive, but after a few hours of travel and a time zone change, we finally landed in Nice. Hello, we have just arrived in the south of France. We're going to be here for around 5 daese, but we're staying at an Airbnb in Nice. It's currently 3 o'clock and the plan for the rest of today is just to go and chill at a beach. Little outfit of the day. These are the Abercrombie Curve Love shorts. Bikini today is You Swim. This top is airy. And then I have some beaded jewelry.
Okay, fine.
First beach experience, thoughts?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 9 out of 10 because it wasn't sunny.
Yeah. The beach was so pretty. It was a bit more crowded and rocky than we expected, but we still went for a little dip and swim, and we're about to go head out for dinner now. But before I do, I want to thank Monos for sponsoring today's video. Monos is a Vancouver-based brand that makes luggage and travel accessories. I've been bringing their carry-on in the color Ocean Haze with me throughout this whole Europe trip. I really love how sturdy it is, the efficiency of the design, and also like the simple minimalistic look. This is editing Allie jumping in. Now that I finished the trip, I realized how thoughtfully designed each piece of luggage is. A lot of features are really easy to look past at first glance, but actually make a big difference when you're traveling for longer than a couple of days. Some things that I appreciated were the hard shell, which was protective and weatherproof, the 4 wheels that spin 360 degrees that lets you wheel it in all different directions, an adjustable handle, as well as the built-in lock. They also really value sustainability, which is something that I'm trying to be more conscious about. So overall, I just really love what they're doing, and their products definitely have a high standard of quality. If you're interested in checking them out or learning more, you can use the link down below for 15% off your order. Wait. This is the most French I've spoken in like years.
Okay.
After dinner, of course, we had to get some gelato, and that was the end of day 1.
Alexa's dreaming now, drifting off my couch. We walked down street she's walked 1,000 times.
In fact, it's a national holiday today, so nowhere was open, and we got sandwiches in the grocery store. Merci.
On pratique notre accent parisien.
Like, not me personally. Coming into the trip, we had a rough itinerary on which cities we wanted to go to, as well as which ones we should do together due to their closeness geographically. We also had to be a bit flexible because unfortunately it wasn't sunny every single day, and on this day it was actually predicted to rain, which is why we decided to head to the beach first thing in the morning rather than wait for the afternoon.
The beach is in fact empty.
Cried my makeup off. It started to drizzle, so we quickly got changed and headed inside to a nearby bakery. I got 2 pastries and they were both so delicious. If you're in the area, I would definitely recommend checking this place out.
How is it?
So fire.
It's so good.
Afterward, we kept walking along the water until we reached the old port and the old town. I wish it was sunnier on this day so we could truly appreciate how pretty the colorful pastel buildings were. It has such a unique style and character that you don't find in many other places. How are the sunglasses on the face, guys? I think you need something that like lowers more here. Like I wouldn't recommend this style for you personally. Can I try these ones again? I think these are like this but smaller. This is giving high fashion. Like yeah. After After we finished wandering around, we got back onto the train and headed to the next town, Monte-Carlo. Let me tell you, morale was low when we first arrived, which is why I didn't vlog. Long story short, we didn't have service, so we walked around to a Starbucks and McDonald's, hoping to connect to their Wi-Fi. Our original plan was just to search up things to do once we arrived, so we had no itinerary for the afternoon. What we ended up having to do is using a partially preloaded map of my phone to try to navigate our way around the city. Monte-Carlo actually isn't in France, but rather the small, rich country of Monaco. It's known for housing lots of rich people with luxurious lifestyles, so we went to go check out some designer stores and cars. It was cool, but if you're on a budget, you're probably not going to find much to do here. I don't remember what prompted us to do this, but for some reason, we decided to wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a sunrise swim. Jeffrey slept in, and he didn't miss much because the sun rose on the opposite side of the water, but we still did a quick dip, and it was nice and refreshing. Everyone went back to sleep after a sunrise swim, so... Okay, I got too embarrassed to vlog with all the people walking by, but what I wanted to say was Aoife and Brie went back to bed. I decided to have a morning alone at a nearby cafe writing in my journal. I started a travel journal, which to this day I still haven't finished, but I pretty much just summarized what we did each day, our adventures, and I feel like I forget things really easily, so I hope this is like a keepsake that I can have in the future to look back on. At 10 a.m., everyone was finally awake, so we got on the bus, which brought us to Ez Village. This was one of my favorite parts of our 5 days here. The village is so cute and quaint. You can explore it in probably 30 minutes, but it's just composed of these cobblestone alleyways with these flowers and greenery covering all the buildings. We stopped by this little market, and everyone got a bag of tea. Well, those
Mediterranean salt.
Yeah.
Jeff is special and got a special bag.
Yeah, why'd you get a special bag? How many did you get?
Like one.
Why does this feel smaller though?
It didn't take us that long to explore the village, so afterwards we headed down this path, which is named after this guy whose name I can't pronounce, but it's like a hike that connects the village with st-jean-cap-ferrat. So travel tip, unless you want to hike all the way up the mountain, which a lot of people were surprisingly actually doing, I would recommend taking the bus instead of the train. The bus will bring you right to the village, while the train will only bring you to the waterfront, which is at the bottom of the mountain. As we walked down the path, we started to see the crystal sparkling blue water, and we were so excited to go swimming in it since it was bright and sunny outside. I will say there was quite a bit more debris here, and Jeffrey also got stung by a jellyfish, so if you do come to this beach, be wary of your surroundings. We then headed back to Nice for dinner, and this is the first Aperol of the entire trip. This place had really good happy hour deals, and afterwards we just crossed the street for dinner. Nice was never a part of Italy, but apparently there's some historical ties, and its geographical location makes it so that there's lots of Italian food here in the city. We thought since we couldn't see the sun during sunrise, we might be able to see it during sunset, but somehow the sun also doesn't set by the water, so we just went for another quick dip to end the day. Day 7, and the tiredness is starting to catch up to me. This is the first day where I've been barely able to get out of bed. And I didn't get ready, but the vibe so far here in the French Riviera has just been sort of chilling, going to the beach, and exploring the old towns. Yesterday we literally went swimming 3 times for sunrise, in the middle of the day, and then at sunset, so I'm tired. Yesterday I also picked up this fragrance because apparently Ez is known for their scents. There's literally no description, but it smells sort of floral. Are you gonna use it? No. Chez toi. Another travel tip is to download the SNCF Connect app. The train is probably the most convenient way to travel around the south of France, and the app allows you to buy tickets online easily instead of having to wait in line at the station. When we got to Cannes, there honestly wasn't that much to do there. We just wandered around the city, went through a food market, and got some coffee before heading over to the beach. This was the first sandy beach that we went to, and it also had beautiful water. Yes, the beach is nice, but I personally think that you're not missing out on much if you decide to skip this town. We took a quick train to Antibes, which in contrast, I would say is my favorite town that we visited. Of course, the first thing that we did was get some gelato, and afterwards we sort of just wandered around and did some shopping. We just got some matching bracelets. It's from this brand called Lucky Team. They actually had such a big selection. What does that say?
It says, les bijoux, les voyages et les rêves sont les étoiles dans la vie. De la vie.
Francophone.
Do they know French? Do I need to translate? It's fine.
No, it's all right.
Bracelet unboxing. Who's first? Okay, Brie.
I got a silver bracelet and has little green stones on it.
I got a gold bracelet and it has green, purple, and white stones on
But she
it.
called them brown.
And then Allie got a silver bracelet and it has lots of colors. Dark green, light green, pink, gold, white.
Yay!
Pretty. Wait, Brie, put yours here. These are Alfabri friendship bracelets.
The lady in the store was like, something to remember us by. And it was like, no, something to remember us by.
There was some Instagram reel that said that Antibes had the best vibes in the south of France, and like, I agree.
Can you do the voice?
It's like the type of reel that's like a travel reel where they're telling you the best food, best whatever. It's like
Thank you.
that is so accurate.
We admired the view for a while, played in the waves, and then walked over this part of the wall into a more calmer, sandier side of the beach. We only swam for a couple of minutes before Ife got stung by a jellyfish, so we decided to pack it up and went back to Nice for dinner. What'd you get, Brie?
Yum. Un pain au chocolat.
For our final day in Nice, we decided to wake up early in the morning and explore some of the city. We had a couple places we wanted to go to, but we only made it to one, and the rest of the time we just sat there and talked. At around 11, we headed to st-jean-cap-ferrat to meet Jeffrey because he decided to sleep in. The train does go there, but we decided to take the bus since it was closer to us. And once again, when we first got there, it was cloudy, so I was like, meh, not that impressed. But just wait and see how stunning it looks once it clears up.
Water shoes on.
Best purchase of the trip.
Real.
Flowers, you look so good. Grew up in the same neighborhood. That's how to rub salt in.
Look how clear the water is. Okay, Brie swimming.
Spend a few hours on the reservoir.
Anything for the
Never
content.
broke a bone, so I'm gonna try hard to prove you wrong. That I'm not who I
Glass hunting. This day was meant to be a beach day where we hit up the best beaches in the south of France, and I have to say this one is stunning and definitely lives up to that title. We then took the train to ville-franche-sur-mer and walked around for a bit, got some ice cream of course, and then headed over to the beach. This beach was also so pretty. It was sandy and the water was nice and clear, but little fish scare me. So I only went in for a quick dip to cool off and then just sat on the sand for the rest of the time. But if you don't mind fish, I would definitely recommend this beach because I think it's the nicest one that we went to. The sun was beating down pretty harshly, so we only stayed for an hour or two before heading back to Nice for dinner. There was lots of people online who recommended this place called Chez Pipot, and we went there to try some socca. It's described as a chickpea flatbread, so I expected it to be more dry and more bread-like, but surprisingly, I actually really enjoyed it. This ice cream place is our top recommendation in Nice. It's called Finocchio, and we've literally come here like this is the 4th time. I love their lychee and raspberry sorbet.
I got amarena, which is like cherries. This is pomelo, which is good, but we went to another ice cream place that had a better pomelo.
I got speculous, which is like biscuit cookie, and it's delicious. We recommend.
That brings us to the end of part 2 of the Europe Diaries. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I mentioned previously, it's a bit different than my usual content, but I really wanted to capture this trip and be able to look back at the memories in the future. So don't worry, the study vlogs will be back. But in the meantime, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe down below to stay tuned, and I'll see you all next week for part 3 where we head to Greece. Bye!